What's going on? So today I'm going to be comparing three smaller headlamps. I just did a comparison video with some larger ones, and now we're talking about the smaller ones. All right. So first off, obviously, because they're smaller, they're going to be lighter weight and going to be a little bit more comfortable to carry on the head compared to their bigger brothers, which are a little bit heavier but offer a ton of light. These are still very adequate for most situations where you need some kind of a headlamp. So today we're comparing the ThruNite H01 to the ThruNite TH02 and to the Olight Perun Mini. Now, as you can see here, we have orange, red, and orange. All three of these lights are available in multiple colors. When I talk about prices in a moment here, just understand that the cheapest ones will always be the black. Now, just like their bigger brothers, all three of these lights are removable from the headband. In the case of the ThruNite H01, we just have two rubber straps, all right, that fit into slots that are on the body. All right, this comes with a camo head strap, which is kind of cool, a little bit different. All right, so let's put that off to the side here. Then we have the ThruNite TH02, same deal, although it's shaped completely different, and this is like a centralized LED as opposed to having it off to the side. But this also has just some straps, all right, one on either side that fit into those channels. Okay, so you can take that off of the headband. And the Olight is a little bit different here, okay, in that this utilizes a mounting system where you can keep the pocket clip on the light. Okay, so the pocket clip is already installed on the light, and they have a tube here. So this just connects inside the tube, and then it can rotate. Now the difference here is this only rotates 60 degrees, okay, whereas compared to both of the ThruNites here can rotate completely around. They can rotate all the way straight up to all the way down. But neither of the ThruNites come with pocket clips. The ThruNite TH02 does come with a second mounting piece, all right? So if we look again at this head strap, this whole rubber piece, it comes with a second one in case one of these tears. And the ThruNite H01 comes with two spare covers here for the charging port, okay, as accessories. All right, so let's start with price and output. The two most important factors when looking at flashlights to purchase: how much is it going to cost me and how bright can they get? So first we're going to start with the ThruNite. This is the H01. All right, this light on ThruNite's actual website is $29.99. Although you can find these on Amazon for under 20 bucks. Just depends on the color. Certain variations I think are $18.99. I think there's one color variation that's $21.99. So let's say around $20. But the full MSRP is $29.99. So that's the most you'll see that for sale. Then we have the ThruNite TH02. All right, this one comes in at $49.95 direct from ThruNite's website for this red one. However, again, if you look at Amazon pricing, it's in and around $40. Again, really just depends on the color. And again, with all three of these lights, the black is always the cheapest version or cheapest option. And last up is the Olight Perun Mini. All right, the basic black one, which is the only one they currently have in stock as of the filming of this, is $64.95. That's also the price you're going to find on Amazon. However, they came in a few different color options, and all the colored ones range a little bit above that, about $69.95. All right, and of course we know that Olight does a lot of different sales, so those prices vary as well. Now, as far as output, the ThruNite H01 has a high output of 687 lumens on turbo mode. The ThruNite TH02 on turbo is 1500 lumens, which is crazy bright. And the Olight Perun Mini here comes in at 1000 lumens. So all three are very bright. The TH02 is the brightest, followed by the Perun Mini, and then followed by the ThruNite H01. So of course it is popular to shop on Amazon. So going by Amazon pricing, you're looking at three awesome little headlamp options, very lightweight headlamp options. All right, the H01 is about 20 bucks and you're getting 687 lumens. All right, the ThruNite TH02, about 40 bucks for 1500 lumens. All right, so about twice the price, but twice the light. Or you have the Olight Perun Mini option for about 65 bucks or so, and you get 1000 lumens. All right, so even though this is the most expensive, it is kind of in between as far as the output. All right, so taking a closer look at these lights, first the ThruNite H01. All right, you can see obviously it is an angled light because most times you're gonna be using this as a headlamp. All right, buttons on top, charging port is on the side, and we can see we have a Very heavily textured lens here to disperse all that light pretty evenly. All right, this is running an XPG3 LED. There's also little fins cut on the back just to dissipate some of the heat when using the light. So next we have the ThruNite TH02, which is significantly different in its body style, which I actually prefer the head to be centralized to the body. Okay, so it's not off to one side. I will say with high-powered flashlights, it doesn't really matter. I've used, probably 2 or 3 dozen different headlights that were offset, and anything over 100 or 200 lumens, you really can't tell. Okay, it's not like all the light is off to one side of your body. It's so bright that you can't really tell that it's maybe to the right of your forehead or all the way to the left of your forehead. But it's just kind of nice that this is centralized for the lower modes. So this one, obviously, here's the head. You can see this has a clear lens, but it does have a heavily stippled or orange peel reflector that's in there. And this one's running an XHP50 LED. All right, that's what's capable of those 1500 lumens. All right, on the side here, you can see we have our charging port as well as our button. All right, the other side is the cap to access the battery compartment. And then we have the Olight Perun Mini. All right, you can see again, this is an angled light, very similar to the H01. Also, let me bring the H01 back in here just to show you that the lens on the front is heavily textured as well. Okay, just like the ThruNite. All right, you can see the pocket clip on here, which is a nice addition. All right, button is on top, and of course the bottom is magnetic, so you have a magnetic charging cable. All right, which makes it a little bit easier to charge. All right, this one, unfortunately, they don't mention exactly what kind of LED, just that it's a high-powered LED. All right, so I just want to go through the UI or user interface for these lights just to show how they work, starting with the ThruNite H01. All right, just like a lot of ThruNite lights, we're going to do a long press, all right, to get our moonlight mode. This is the lowest mode that has the longest runtime, okay, for some kind of emergency situation. You will have light to be able to read or maybe see around in pitch black, but it's going to have that long duration of time, all right, so you can get the most out of your battery. All right, just clicking the light on once, you can see there's a battery indicator on top as well. Push and hold to cycle through low, medium, and high, all right. At any time, you can double click to go right to the turbo mode. And then for SOS, you could triple click at any time. And that'll give you your SOS mode. So, very simple UI. Next up, we have the TH02 from ThruNite. All right, again, we have the button on the side. I do like this kind of raised button. It's just very easy to get to, regardless of whatever side you happen to put it on. If you do prefer it, if you happen to be lefty and you want it on the left side, you can certainly do that. There's no real upside down, even though the words are on one particular side, doesn't really matter. But it's just nice and easy to get to, something I've noticed during testing. But anyway, so long press here, all right, goes to the moonlight mode. Again, same thing since it's a ThruNite flashlight. All right, you can click it on once just to turn it on, push and hold to cycle low, medium, and high. All right, same deal, double click for the turbo mode. In this particular case, the battery needs to be charged, so if you noticed, once it went to turbo, it cut back down to high. I could do that again to keep it on turbo. And then the SOS mode, just like the H01, is a triple click. So 1, 2, 3, and then you're in SOS mode. And that's it. Really simple UI as well. Then we have the Olight Perun Mini, which is the same. It works the same as, a lot of the Olights work the same as a lot of the ThruNites. So if you happen to switch between brands, it's really easy to do because you pretty much know the modes. All right, so long press is going to be your moonlight mode. Generally speaking, the Olight moonlight modes are brighter and have less run times, okay? You just click it on, turn it on, okay, push and hold is going to cycle low, medium, and high. When you first do that, it'll cycle through turbo as well, but consecutively turning it on, it's just going to cycle through the low, medium, and high, right? So low, medium, high. If you want your turbo mode at any time, you could just double click, and that will ramp up to the turbo mode, all right, which again, in this case, happens to be that 1000 lumens, which is plenty bright for most of what you're doing. And just like the ThruNite models, you could triple click for the SOS mode, okay, if that's something that you choose to use. All right, so we're gonna get these back on their head straps here because I'd like to go outside and do some beam shots for you, but I figured I'd show you putting this on to show you how it works. Just takes a moment. All right, so this one is the ThruNite H01. I do really like the camo strap. Also notice that this strap is a single strap. It doesn't have the second piece that goes over the top of the head. Still totally fine. Obviously, all three of these straps are adjustable for your head size. All right, and then again, once it's on, it's free to rotate. All right, and you can put this head either direction, doesn't really matter. But that can rotate all the way up. Having it straight up is really nice if you're inside a building, especially smaller ceilings, because the light disperses everywhere. So you have hands-free lighting as you walk throughout the house. I've used this multiple times in the past when there are power outages. All right, so it's just a really nice feature. All right, and then of course you can go all the way down as well if you need to. All right, so next we have the TH02. If you notice, this strap is a little bit different, and this does have the second piece that goes over the top of the head, again, just for more stability here. And again, you could put this switch on either side, whether you're right-handed or left-handed. All right, but you can see these are bigger, thicker straps. All right, one goes in that channel like that, and the other one stretches over the other side. All right, it goes in that channel. Now the same deal with this, where you can rotate it up or down. I suggest rotating it with the body here. It is a little bit harder to turn because they're thicker, tight straps on here. But just keep in mind, this is the end cap. So if you go to rotate this, and let's say I want to rotate it down, I'm not rotating, I'm just unscrewing this cap. All right, so just something to consider. Just grab the entire body to rotate it. So if I wanted it all the way up, all right, rotate it just like that. And again, you have hands-free lighting walking around rooms. But pretty simple. Then we have the Olight Perun Mini. This is a very, very different system. All right, as I mentioned before, there's this square tube in here, so it allows you to put the whole pocket clip right through. All right, this does rotate. It's very easy to rotate, but it only rotates 60 degrees. The one big thing though here is that the entire front is actually a patch. All right, so here's your head strap, which is a single head strap, just like the H01. All right, it doesn't have the secondary piece, but this whole thing comes off. Now the advantage to this is that you can also mount this on any Velcro. Okay, so if you have a soft side Velcro, you could stick it on there as well, which is kind of nice. However, the big problem I get with this, all right, and I've used this multiple times as well as the bigger version, is that it becomes very uncomfortable on the forehead. All right, if you notice, the strap is only so wide, so you have a lot of extra, hard side Velcro, and this literally rubs on your forehead. It becomes very uncomfortable. All right, I figured this out the second I first put this on, and then wearing it, especially if you're moving around, it just rubs on your forehead and really, really irritates the skin. So that's something, unfortunately, I just don't like about this light. I really wish that, I mean, the patch idea is kind of cool. I totally get it. It's a nice option, but I think that either the strap should be thicker here, or they should just make the patch as wide as that strap, because again, having that exposed Velcro is very, very rough on your forehead. All right, just something to note there. So we're gonna head outside and get some beam shots. I'm gonna go back out to the other location where I have the large garage, because these are headlamps. Just like to have a nicer wide area to give you a demo. All right, so I'm outside doing some beam shots. First up is the ThruNite H01. Double click for turbo mode. Let that focus. All right, so you can see smaller head on this one compared to some of the bigger headlamps, but you can see a very clear area light. All right, obviously this is the end here, or edge, so our beam shot is one large circle. All right, if I go up, you kind of see the edge of that, and then down, let that focus, and then left and right. Again, this is just pretty much to show the spill on the light, but this happens to be pretty much just a large circle area light with little spill. All right, so this is giving me roughly a 15 to 20 foot wide shot, so plenty of light for most scenarios, and I'm probably about 15 feet away from the garage door here. All right, so next up is the ThruNite TH02. Put that on turbo mode. All right, center it to the door. Now this is pumping out a lot more light, so we have our center hotspot, which is similar to the first one. However, we do have a lot more spill off to each side. So this is actually wider than the door and wider than the entire garage. All right, so let me go ahead and go up. So even though the hotspot is off screen right here, you can see the spill is still lighting up everything in front of us. All right, down, same deal. And then of course, left and right. And then last up is the Olight. All right, pump that up to turbo mode. All right, so same thing, kind of a distinguished hotspot in the middle here. Seems to be just a little bit brighter than the H01. All right, also just a little bit of a cooler color temperature. So a little bit better performance, just because we do have more light coming out of this one, but very, very smooth beam. All right, might be hard to tell in the video, but it is just pretty much a wall of light, like the H01. There's no real hot spots in the very center. There's no artifacts or anything. It's a nice, smooth wall of light. It's just you have the limitation because of the smaller size head here. All right, so there you go. There's a comparison between all three of these lights. I do think they're all very usable. Again, I just really have to stress how uncomfortable this patch is, unfortunately, on the Perun Mini. I think that it is a nice bonus that you can, take that off and then obviously stick that to any kind of, soft side Velcro. I do really like the fact that you can keep the pocket clip on. That, first of all, it comes with a pocket clip. That's very nice. All right, you can clip this to the front of your pocket or shirt or jacket or something, or backpack strap. You can use this for light when you're walking, hands-free. Obviously, the headlamp is, or the headband makes it hands-free as well. Just a bunch of options here, but it's just super, super uncomfortable. It's just, unfortunately, it's something that it's hard to get over. You know what I mean? The light itself is fantastic. It's a little bit more expensive, but the 1000 lumens is very, very bright. It's a good performing light. It's just, in my opinion, a poor design. As far as the two ThruNites here, obviously there's advantages and disadvantages to both. The ThruNite TH02 is a little bit more expensive. It's twice the price, really. But you have a little bit more of a comfortable headband. Again, having that separate piece that goes over the middle of your head. It just, creates more stability if you're moving around a lot. I do like that this is centralized. Obviously, it's a 1500 lumen light, so it's a lot brighter. But if you're just on a budget or you don't necessarily need all that light, I think the H01 is totally adequate. I do wish that maybe this came with a pocket clip so you can use it similar to the Perun Mini, but overall it's pretty cool. And it's very simple, simple little strap here. It's very easy to get on and off, and it's plenty of light for most situations in my opinion. But anyway, there's a comparison between these three lights. Thanks for watching.